Everybody has a problem with crown molding, but this is a nice, simple detail, quarter round detail. I like this detail with this trim that you have around your doors. It's nice and simple. I'll be more than happy to help you with this. But to get started, I want to run a straight line around the room to set our crown molding to. I'm going to mark each corner using a scrap piece of crown molding, holding it at the right orientation. I then connect the lines together using a white chalk line because the white chalk will remove easy. Right there. Okay, here goes. We're going to start installing the crown molding on the front wall. Now it's going to require 2 pieces of crown molding. So what I want to do is I actually want to put a scarf joint or a miter joint in the middle. So I'm going to take my first piece and I'm going to put it in the corner, just holding it tight. I've marked a position where our stud is in the wall, and I'm just going to put a mark about where my center of my stud is. I'm going to miter this first piece. Okay, this is the saw that I'm going to use to make all of the cuts in the room. Now the first thing I want to show you is the orientation that the molding will sit in the room. It's like this. This being the wall, this being the ceiling. But I don't want to cut it holding it in this orientation. What I want to do is I want to flip it over like this, put it on the saw. Now, when I hold it against the saw, this is the ceiling and this is the wall.
Now, why do you do it this way?
Well, because now I have more points of contact and I can actually hold it better, so it's safer. So now when I turn my saw or tilt it to 45 degrees, I can make my cut. All right, now we're ready to put our first piece up, and I'm actually going to nail it to the wall. But the first thing I want to do is find the stud right there. So I'm going to make the molding, put it tight into the corner. Now I want to take the bottom of the molding and put it on our white line, just like that. So I'll nail my first stud right there. Now I'm going to nail into the ceiling also. Now when I nail into the ceiling, I don't have to worry about finding a stud or any structure because there's actually blocking between the joist and also one parallel with the wall. So now what I want to do is I want to take this end of it and I want to slide it up so the bottom of the crown molding hits the white line right there. And that will make the bottom of the crown molding straight around the row. We use an 18 gauge finish nailer with a 2-inch nail. Okay, now I got to push this molding up to the line, right there. Now I'm going to nail it. Okay, now I want to get a length for this piece right here, so we'll just hold that up in the corner. I'll push it to you, and I'm going to get a length right there. Okay, now my saw is still set on 45 degrees. When I cut the first piece of molding that we put up, I cut it from this side of the saw. Now I have to cut this molding on this side of the saw, so my 2 cuts will be parallel to each other. Dry fit it. Okay, that looks good. Now what I want to do first is I want to glue the joint. Push it right up. Okay, push it to me a little bit. Oh, not too much. Okay, nailing it. And that's how you make a scarf joint. And now we'll just nail the rest of the molding off. All right, now let me show you how I'm going to deal with the corner. Now some people will miter each piece like this. It's a 45-degree angle here and a 45-degree angle here, making a 90-degree corner. You don't have a 90-degree angle, the piece won't fit tight together. I would have to bisect this angle. So whatever that degree is, I would have to cut equal degrees on each piece. Now the other thing you gotta worry about is when the wood dries out, as it dries out it shrinks and the joint can open up. To lessen that problem, what I like to do is do a butt cut in the corner, as we did, and a miter on the next piece. Now if you see when I put it up, it won't fit tight. So what I have to do is remove all of this material in the back down to the painted edge. Now to remove the wood in the back, I'm going to use this saw right here. It's a coping saw blade. It's a small blade for making a curved cut. Just going to follow the leading edge on the paint. Let's see how it fits. Try it right up there like that. Now just hold that end up there, Patrick. Don't push it up tight. Just let me position it. All right, now put it right into the corner like that. Now that fits pretty good. Okay, so now before I fasten it into place, I'm going to put some caulking in behind here.
What's the caulk for?
Well, it's going to fill any imperfections in that cut. So we'll have a nice tight corner. Now I'm going to tack it in place. Now we'll just keep working our way around the room. Now take a look at your miter first, make sure it's tight. Once it's tight, nail it. Perfect. You're good already. See that? Good. All right, now I need to cut an outside corner for the piece that's going to go over the brick. And to do that, I'm going to set my saw on a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to, here's my length right there. All right, now that's the piece that's going to go in front of the fireplace. That's one. Okay, now I'm going to turn my saw the other direction at 45 degrees. Cut the other piece of molding for the end of the fireplace. I'm going to pre-assemble the two pieces down here, and then I'm going to install it as one. I'm using construction adhesive along the bottom of the back of the crown molding to fasten it to the brick. And then I'll nail it to the ceiling. All right, guys, your crown molding's all done. Now there's a couple of things I want you to do. I want you to caulk around the top of the crown molding where it meets the ceiling and also where it meets the wall to fill in those voids. Fill all the nail holes, sand it lightly, and paint it.
I think I can handle that.
Okay.